I just have to say there are a few people in the audience who are such great attendees to readings that it becomes, preparing for readings becomes this torturous act of trying to remember which poems, and then you are looking at every poem you've ever published, and it feels like you've read them all to this one person who's been at every reading. So I thought, as I was looking through some of the poems that I have recently been working on, which have not been many because I have been very focused on this novel writing venture. It's okay.
As high as it
no,
goes.
that's fine. So I thought I would do something that I've really never done before because, you know, it's just us. This isn't going on the internet or anything. So terrified of the internet. So terrified of the
You'll
internet.
read first, right?
Huh?
You will read first.
Yeah, I'll read it. Not first.
Oh, come on.
Here, I'll put it right here. Last. The first shall be last. Oh, that was a terrible pun.
Yes.
That was a terrible pun. I thought I would read a couple of poems that I am really feeling like are in the middle. Like this is a poem that I'm in the middle of working on. It has a stupid title right now, but I won't read the title. The summer is wind and absenteeism. The black cat forced to change by 15-minute increments from being an indoor cat to an outdoor cat. At my daughter's preschool, they've taken down the red butcher paper on the bulletin board, and now it's green and ready, a mown lawn, but they haven't put up any art yet. At home, my daughter asks me for cloud art, sunshine art, popcorn art, shaving cream art, and calls everything she does a project, including eating breakfast and torturing the dog. I worry the baby doesn't sleep enough. I worry my girl in her bed is sleeping too late. I mean, it's 2 days until the first gymnastics class, and still we have no viable leotard. The black cat would prefer to stay indoors and ruin all of our possessions. I'd like to go back to sleep and continue the dream where I go into a bathroom at a Whataburger in Los Angeles to wash my hands so I can, in good conscience, hold Dan and David's babies. Once I locked myself out of the house and had to wait on the back porch for Kirk to come home and let me in. Those minutes passed so slowly. What else can we do but wait, the minutes said. And I just waited there, wanting. And then, what's the other one? Oh, this one is, I don't even know if this is going to be anything, but I like the way it ends. It's called The Price. In my dream last night, all I do is write about my dreams. It's so easy to write poems. Just go. In my dream last night, my childhood home, missing all its doors, my mother explaining the problem with living in the world while arranging Triscuits like so many fallen dominoes around a cheese ball she'd rolled in minced parsley and into which she'd sunk a small sharp knife. How many cheese balls would it take to complete my childhood? And how many more to seal it shut? How many summer mornings watching The Price is Right with my mother, whose acumen for guessing the prices of household items was as astounding and understated as the way she flicked her cigarette's ash into the ashtray, sitting on the couch, freshly awake, legs curled under her body, pointing her cigarette toward the TV, saying, "You're crazy. It's only a box of cereal, sweetheart. It can't be more than $2.25. And I'll read this newer poem, The Holy Innocent. The computer was cold, but now it's warm in my lap. O made it nearly through the night without ambling into our bedroom complaining about some imaginary thing wrong with her glow pet. Why not feeling big rather than small? My mother's birthday passed without incident, and yesterday I took a walk around the lake. Walking this morning, first thing, I found one way to make my life better. Why not being fine when last week someone wrote, "fuck me," in the dust on the side of my car, just beneath the window where the baby sits in his car seat, looking out onto the world wordlessly with the concern and puzzlement of the wholly innocent? I kept meaning to wipe it off, but then someone else did it before I could. Now, who did that? I love it. He's like, I'm like an 85-year-old man in my poem. Now, who did that? Son? This is a poem I never read, so I know you've never heard it, Tyler. Calling you out by name. By name. Mm-hmm. This is a poem, so I'm working on a YA novel, so I'll read it. Seems very YA. This is like a YA poem. It's called The Change. I swear the year my mother stopped having her period was the same year I started having sex. The year I spent my evenings parked by the river, getting good at revealing my breasts to my sensitive boyfriend, my ass, my armpits, learning the idiom of his body as well, the slight stern curve of the man's waist, the slope of the shoulders, the comic sag of the testicles. Learning the feel of sex, painful and reassuring, as if the two of us were slowly being sewn together, while my mother was going away to be sad beyond the capacity of her heart, because the time of her life had commenced to dry and harden like stucco against the walls of her body. And didn't she start to shrink? I think so. In fact, I think she began to disappear that fall from the face of the earth, though I didn't really notice and wouldn't notice and had made a high art out of not noticing. I didn't like talking to her. Her dust-colored bangs had a tendency to fall with absolutely no grace into her gray eyes, and they couldn't bear to see her push them again and again out of the way. She was her own planet by then. One afternoon in winter, she came to my bedroom door holding a fistful of tampons, standing there in the doorway, holding them out to me, her mouth saying jovially, "I guess I don't need these things anymore." Though by the time the sound reached me from those many light years away, what I heard was, "Take them, you fool, and run for your life." That's a really hard, that's a hard poem to read now. I mean, now I'm basically on at the other end of that spectrum. I mean, not right this moment. Okay, I'll read a poem from Instant Winner, which I saw they ordered some copies of. So I thank you so much, Malvern, for ordering my books. I know it goes against all your values and principles. I do appreciate that.
It's not you.
Are we breaking up? It's not me, it's you?
No, it's
I know.
It's Ruby Murdoch.
Oh,
God.
oh.
He just called me Rupert Murdoch, didn't he? I'm just kidding. I'm going to read this poem called Eating the Avocado. Now I know that I've never described anything, not one single thing, not the flesh of the avocado which darkens so quickly, though if you scrape what's been exposed to the air, it's new green beneath like nothing ever happened. I want to describe this evening, though it's not spectacular. The baby babbling in the other room over the din and whistle of a football game, and now the dog just outside the door scratching, rattling the tags on her collar, the car going by, far away but loud, a car without a muffler, and the sound of the baby returning again, pleasure and weight. I want to describe the baby. I want to describe the baby for many hours to anyone who wishes to hear me. My feelings for her take me so far inside myself, I can see the pure holiness in motherhood, and it makes me burn with success and fear, the hole her coming has left open, widening. Last night we fed her some of the avocado I've just finished eating while writing this poem, her first food. I thought my heart might burst, knowing she would no longer be made entirely of me, flesh of my flesh. Startled in her amusing way by the idea of eating, she tried to take it in, but her mouth pushed it out. And my heart did burst. I'll read 2 more new poems, why not? And I'll end with first.
Thank you.
Thanks again so much for being here. Thank you so much, Malvern, for having me, and Joe, thank you so much for inviting me, and Polly as well. You were part of the email transaction. Polly and Joe are great people. Joe is a great teacher, and they are also great neighbors. They live down the street from me, and so I always get to peek in their windows and see them. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I don't love your pajamas, Polly. The ones you were wearing yesterday, not the ones you were wearing today. How long can that joke go on before Polly starts thinking something is really going on? Okay, I'll read this poem in December too, because it's coming up to being Christmas time. Wow, this is a poem I printed this, I must have printed this out on mistake. This is another one that's in the middle. I'll read this one. It's called Answer. All through the night, this cat is, we hate this cat so much, but this cat, you notice, is in every single one of my poems. We can't get rid of Reapers because he's in every single one of my poems. He's like the thing that makes, yes.
We can get rid of it.
Yeah, he's really sweet. If anybody's looking for a fluffy black cat who pees all over everything. Answer. All through the night, the cat's claws on the sofa spoke of the present moment. Occasionally, he came and touched my chest, crawled onto my neck. The world is too difficult, I tried to tell him, and I worry almost without stopping about money and time, which isn't even interesting. Once my life was neat, a handkerchief folded smartly and placed in a back pocket. But now it's opened. Didn't I pray for this in some distant quiet place, all alone, lonesome? Make it real. Wasn't that exactly what I'd asked? And now I'll read first. This poem also has Naomi in it. So Naomi Shevnai is in this poem. Always in our hearts. She is the greatest ever. First, there is a holiness in exhaustion, is what I keep telling myself. Filling out the form so my TA gets paid, then making copies of it on the hot and heaving machine, writing strong start on a pretty bad poem. And then the children, the baby's mouth opening, going for the breast, the girl's hair to wash tonight, then comb so painstakingly in the tub while conditioner drips in slick globs onto her shoulders, while her discipline chart flaps in the air conditioner at school, taped to a filing cabinet, longing for stickers. My heart is so giant this evening, like one of those moons so full and beautiful and terrifying. If you see it when you're getting out of the car, you have to go inside the house and make someone else come out and see it for themselves. I want everything, I admit. I want, yes, of course, and I want it all the time. I want a clean heart. I want the children to sleep and the drought to end. I want the rain to come down. It's supposed to monsoon, is what Naomi said driving away this morning. And she was right, as usual. It's monsooning. Still, I want more. Even as the streets are washed clean and then begin to flood, even though the man came again today to check the rat traps and said he bet we'd catch the rat within 24 hours. We still haven't caught the rat. So I'm working at the table with my legs folded up beneath me. I want to know what is holy. I do. But first, I want the rat to die. I am thirsty for that death and will drink deeply of that victory, the thwack of the trap's hard plastic jaw. I will rush to see the evidence, no matter how gruesome, leaning my body over the washing machine to see the thing crushed there, much smaller than I'd imagined it'd be. The strawberry large in its mouth. Thank you. Thank you, Joe.